For many developers using .NET, C# is their main language. C# gives you a lot of freedom about how you actually write your code, but there's some particular C# isms that I found in code reviews that can represent problems in large code bases. Let's start by talking about magic strings and magic numbers. Here I've got a simple class called the logger class that writes some data to a file. One of the things I see in C# quite a lot is the use of hard-coded strings, or magic strings as I like to call them. Now, if you're using these in one place, that's fine. That's not a big deal. The problem is you very commonly will go ahead and use them in a second or third or fourth place inside of your code base. As soon as I see something shown twice, or even once in the beginning of a project, I'm going to want to refactor that into something else. So in our case, instead of having this hard-coded, I'm going to create a private member of our logger class that is read-only, because we're not going to allow people to change it, but we do want to allow us to define it once and only once. And I tend to use all caps when naming things that I'm using as read-only strings, so it's clear that these can be used somewhat like a constant in your system. Once we have it, we can replace it in all cases. The benefit here, obviously, is if it does need to change, we don't have to go do search and replace. So for very little work, you're reducing the chance that this magic string could be changed in one place and not another. Magic numbers are just as much a problem. We can see here that we're using a 255 length for a buffer for reading data in and out of the stream. Down here at the bottom, we're using it yet again to imply what the length of the buffer is here. Now, these are two similar ideas. We're specifying the length of a buffer. So we'll solve this in really the same way. Static, read-only, int in this case is going to be the buffer size. And here we can have it as 255, use it only once, and then later as we're doing performance tuning, we have one single place where we can go ahead and test the change of buffer size to see things like whether the performance is increased by changing this buffer size. Having it in one place reduces the chance that we're going to have bugs around it. Let's look at the next problem now.